This is really random. Is anyone at TMZ an organ donor? I am. Are you?
I'm an organ donor. Yeah.
So, yes, there's two.
Yeah, but the thing is, Dax has already donated his heart.
But
There's a story on the web about it.
about
what?
TMZ?
Organ donor, the Bengals, Cincinnati Bengals player, donated all his organs.
Oh.
I forget his name. Took the story on the about it.
Okay.
I thought that was random. All right.
Will there be some kind of lawsuit against? Oh, no, I don't know. Too early to know.
When does Murray go back to court?
Murray goes back to court. I think it's July. I think it's June 17th. That's my recollection. I think it's June 17th. So how happy was Gloria Allred yesterday? Did Gloria get to Miss Campbell to the work release officer? We will have more on that later.
Do you think Dr. Drew is actually going to apologize to Lindsay Lohan?
Yes.
I think he obviously, definitely would have. I mean, we got video of him out last night. It's on the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got him out. He was at BOA. We get him. We just said, hey, you were gonna. If you saw Lindsay at either two events, because she was supposed to go to Weenie Roast,
right?
And she was also at the MTV Awards, but she moved seats. He said, I just want to apologize. I think it got blown out of proportion in regards to talking with her and talking about the situation of, well, if my daughter was on drugs, I would set her up, get her arrested. I don't think he meant it rude.
Well, but that's what he said. I mean, look, I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's like, why backtrack? I mean, that's what he said. What he's saying is, if it's so desperate that it's life or death, I would set my daughter up to get her in jail.
I think that's a smart thing to do. I'm not saying it's
then
not
why
smart.
apologize?
I think he didn't mean to offend her as much as he did, because it turned
Well, yeah,
into
he
this
did.
whole snowball.
I mean, he meant to shake her. Why else would he said it?
Well, I think it's a smart tactic. I gotta say that.
You're being political. It's like, I don't know that there's anything to apologize for, but why soften it now?
I think because he probably wants to help her, and he sees that she's pushed herself away so much because of that one comment.
Well, from him, but that doesn't. But he's not going to necessarily be her savior. But,
No, but
why
I think-
apologize for the statement if you believe in the statement? What do you think about Jesse James? What should he do to rectify his image? I agree that he doesn't necessarily have Nazi sympathies. I've known artists who collect memorabilia because of a fascination with the cultural complexities of the time period. So have I.
Well, we talked about this yesterday.
I know, but people are interested in this. And, today, a judge ruled in this motion. He's being sued by a clothing manufacturer over this clothing deal they had, and the trial starts tomorrow. And the judge just ruled today that they can't bring up any of the Nazi stuff. They can't bring up Sandra Bullock. They can't bring up Michelle McGee. They can't bring up The Blind Side.
I think that's fair, though.
Oh, it's
because
totally
it
fair.
has nothing to do with that court case, so they shouldn't be bringing up his personal life that has been so publicly out there. They need to stick to this clothing situation.
Absolutely. But I got to tell you, I think Jesse James, he did things that were wrong, clearly. But I think he's been really unfairly tarred and feathered in this case. I really do. I don't think... This guy is not a Nazi. He's not. I mean, he lived on a kibbutz for a couple of years. Months, rather.
You gotta say what that is, because I think people don't know what a kibbutz is.
It's a Jewish... It's like a farm in Israel, a commune.
It's like a small little community that people live in. It's like a city.
And they grow food and they work, and it's like a self-sufficient commune. And there's a rabbi that he was, an 86-year-old rabbi he was working with. I got to tell you, he's just not.
What's your take on the UK banning Chris Brown from entering their borders?
Well, that's interesting.
I think it's interesting. It's really interesting.
I mean, he's a felon. He is a felon, period. What classifies someone as a serial killer, i.e. Joran Vandersloot, if he killed more than one person? I don't know that there's a definition, a magic number for serial, but I will hypothesize this, that if he killed this woman, and if he killed Natalie Holloway, and he killed those two, I wonder if there were
more.
Yeah.
Wondering
Or how
if there's
many
more
more.
out there.
That's all I'm going to say. So why did Charlie's plea deal go south? Well, we said this on the website. We broke the story last night that what happened was there was a woman in the sheriff's department who did not believe that Charlie was really eligible for work release, that he was eligible for something called
UPS.
UPS, which is Useful Public Service. And under UPS, Charlie wouldn't be able to have the freedom he'd have under work release. He couldn't be out from 8 to 8. He'd be out from 10 to 4. He couldn't eat while he was out. He couldn't smoke while he was out. It would increase his probation. So this is not resolved yet, and that's really what's going on.
What I don't understand is, how did she have a say-so in that courtroom if the sheriff had signed off, the DA, Charlie's lawyer? How did she have any say-so to mess up everything that was going on?
And that's an excellent question, and we'll get into it later. Do you think with Charlie's original plan A, well, it'll be interesting to see what they do, but we're going to publish stuff.
What do you guys think of cheap celebrities? I gotta say, I think sometimes they get a bad rap, because you gotta realize that we may get a photo once of a celebrity walking past a homeless person asking for money, but they probably get asked by every person that's on the corner, you know? Every time you go in, you have to tip well. Every time you encounter someone that you have to tip, everyone's gonna want a lot of money because they know you have a lot.
No, well, or it's just an image thing too. Well, it is, and yeah,
because it's not fair. I mean, honestly, if you've got Victoria Beckham going down to, what was it, medieval times,
right?
That was not her fault. She was not a cheap celebrity. She didn't know that they hadn't paid the bill.
No, it's true. I mean, it's true. It's true.
And if she pays 15% like all the other country, people are gonna be like, why didn't you pay 20? You're Victoria Beckham. You guys have millions of dollars. It's not a fair, thing.
You're such an apologist.
I'm being serious.
No, I know.
If you walk into a restaurant, they're going to know, oh, Harvey works on a TV show. He needs to give 20%.
I'm really careful about that.
Do you make sure you tip over? Yeah. And
but part of it is, too, that, yeah, I mean,
okay,
and
if you go to pick up your car from valet and you look in your pocket and all you've got is $2 left, and you're like, great, I'm going to give this to them. They're going to call me cheap, but that's all I have left.
I think about that before I leave. No, I do. I think about it.
Yeah?
Because sometimes I don't carry my... It depends on whether I'm driving around, but sometimes I don't like carrying my wallet all the time. So I actually consciously make a decision on what goes in my pocket.
I just think that probably it's not fair all the time because you only hear the cheap story. Well, I guess we've had some good stories of people over tipping.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, like Jay-Z and Beyonce. They
totally.
tip a lot.
Yeah. Let me talk about that. What happened to Gary Coleman's supposed second will? Yeah, this is just going to get into a big dogfight, guys. I mean, this is the ugliest thing. And are you seeing her on TV, that little Shannon Price there now? You seeing her on TV? And they're going to go through the house tomorrow? And gee, I wonder...
She is raking in the cash now. Like,
yeah.
How desperate. I'm sorry. And I know Gary's family is so ticked about this whole thing. It just looks bad. It looks really bad. Did they perform an autopsy on his body?
I don't know of an autopsy. Mike, did they perform an autopsy on Gary Coleman? They did? Really?
Yeah.
Okay, and then secondly, is Michael Lohan, how can he get a liquor license?
That restaurant already has one.
Oh, the restaurant already has one, so he's doing it off the back of the restaurant. He's going to be a partner in the restaurant. Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay, you get two more and then we're done.
I don't really have any other questions on here. Hold on. Is it possible... That's all Heidi and Spencer. We've already done that. Will Lohan go to jail finally? And we're not going to know. It's all going to be up to the judge.
Yeah.
This judge that's already a little ticked off.
This Scram thing is going to be interesting.
But if it was something like she didn't make it to the docking station, do you think the judge is really going to throw her in jail for that?
Probably not the docking station.
I mean,
and my gut tells me this is about the docking station because she was around people too much. I don't think she was drinking.
Yeah, I don't think she was drinking. I think she knows at this point, I'm out in public, everyone is watching my every move, and people will rat me out. I'm not going to sip on a drink.
Yeah, I do not think she was drinking. Okay, you got one more if you got it.
Okay, why do people release their own sex tapes? They're hard to for the spotlight. Yeah, that's obvious. People want fame, so they release the sex tape.
Yeah, she's
it's easy.
And this latest one is.
And every time we put a sex tape on, people like talking about it.
Poor Max is in shock about this one. it's ruined the whole thing for him.
The sex tape.
It's ruined it all for poor Max.
He was so sad this morning.
He was like really upset in the meeting. He needed some consolation.
He needs a good sex tape.
Right.
So if any good A-list celebrities are out there.
Okay.